In ancient Israel, a vow was more than just a promise. It was a solemn declaration, a binding commitment that held immense weight and significance in the lives of the people. It was a sacred act, binding a person to their word before God. These vows were not taken lightly, as they were seen as a direct communication with the divine, a pledge that intertwined one's fate with their faith. Vows were deeply embedded in the fabric of Israelite society, reflecting their relationship with the divine and their commitment to their community. They were a testament to one's integrity and honor, a public declaration of one's intentions and promises. Breaking a vow was a grave offense, potentially disrupting the social order and incurring divine disfavor. The consequences of breaking a vow were severe, often leading to social ostracism and a loss of trust within the community. It was believed that breaking a vow could bring about divine retribution, affecting not just the individual, but the entire community. The Book of Numbers, specifically chapter 30, provides detailed regulations concerning vows, shedding light on the cultural and religious significance of these solemn promises in ancient Israel. These regulations were meticulously followed, ensuring that vows were made with utmost sincerity and seriousness. The chapter outlines the conditions under which vows could be made, who could make them, and the circumstances under which they could be annulled. This highlights the importance of vows in maintaining the moral and spiritual fabric of the society, ensuring that promises made to God and to one another were honored and respected. Numbers 30 appears within a larger narrative recounting the Israelites' journey through the wilderness after their exodus from Egypt. This journey was not just a physical trek but also a spiritual and societal transformation. The Israelites were transitioning from a life of slavery in Egypt to becoming a self-governing covenant-bound community under the guidance of Moses. This context is essential for understanding the chapter's emphasis on order and obedience. Moses, as the leader and prophet, conveyed God's commandments to the people, ensuring that they adhered to divine laws. These laws were not arbitrary, but were designed to instill discipline and a sense of collective responsibility among the Israelites. As the Israelites wandered in the desert, establishing a new society, clear guidelines for conduct, including vow-making, were crucial. Vows were solemn promises made to God, and breaking them was considered a serious offense. The regulations provided a framework for making and fulfilling vows, ensuring that the community remained faithful to their commitments. These regulations aimed to maintain social harmony and uphold religious piety in the fledgling nation. By adhering to these rules, the Israelites could foster a sense of unity and trust within the community. The emphasis on vows also highlighted the importance of integrity and accountability in their relationship with God and with each other. The chapter's meticulous instructions on vows reflect a society where spoken words carried significant weight, particularly when uttered in a religious context. Vows were not just personal promises but were seen as binding contracts with God. This underscores the seriousness with which the Israelites approached their faith and their commitment to living according to divine principles. The detailed guidelines in Numbers 30 served as a reminder of the sacredness of their words and the importance of keeping their promises to maintain divine favor and social order. Numbers 30 begins by addressing the vows made by women, specifically daughters living under their father's authority. If a woman made a vow, her father had the power to either confirm or nullify it. This practice reflects the patriarchal structure of ancient Israelite society, where men held significant authority over women's lives. However, this authority was not absolute. The father's decision had to be made promptly upon hearing the vow. His silence constituted implicit consent, making the daughter's vow binding. The chapter then addresses vows made by married women. Similar to a father's authority over his daughter, a husband had the power to confirm or nullify his wife's vows. This regulation underscored the importance of marital unity and the husband's role as the head of the household. By granting the husband this authority, the law aimed to prevent potential conflicts within the marriage that could arise from a wife's unfulfilled vow. Section 5. The seriousness of breaking a vow, divine favor, and communal order. Numbers 30 emphasizes the gravity of breaking a vow. Vows were not to be taken lightly. Breaking a vow was seen as an act of defiance against God, potentially resulting in divine punishment. This emphasis on fulfilling vows stemmed from the belief that God was a witness to every promise made. Breaking a vow, therefore, was a breach of trust, not only within the community, but also with the divine. Section 6, the husband's right affirmation, annulment, and silence. The text explicitly details the husband's prerogative concerning his wife's vows. Upon hearing his wife's vow, he had the right to either verbally confirm or annul it. However, his silence was significant. If the husband remained silent, neither confirming nor nullifying the vow, it was deemed to be automatically binding. This silence implied consent and highlighted the seriousness with which vows were treated. Numbers 30 makes an important distinction regarding widows and divorced women. These women, no longer under the authority of a husband or father, regained complete autonomy over their vows. Their vows were binding without requiring any external confirmation or annulment. This exception highlights the social realities of the time, acknowledging the independent status of women who were not under male guardianship. Beyond Numbers 30 vows throughout the Hebrew Bible. The significance of vows extends far beyond Numbers 30. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, we encounter numerous instances of individuals making vows to God. These vows often involve promises of offerings, sacrifices, or specific actions in exchange for divine favor or deliverance. One notable example is Hannah's vow in the book of 1 Samuel, where she promises to dedicate her son, Samuel, to God's service in return for a child. The enduring significance lessons for today. While the specific regulations outlined in Numbers 30 may seem culturally distant today, the underlying principles retain their relevance. The chapter underscores the importance of integrity. Keeping one's word, particularly in matters involving God, is paramount. Respect for commitments, vows, whether spoken to God or to others, should not be taken lightly. Understanding context. Interpreting biblical texts requires careful consideration of their historical and cultural background. Conclusion: commitment, community, and the divine. Numbers 30 offers a fascinating glimpse into the social and religious landscape of ancient Israel. This chapter delves into the intricate web of commitments that bound individuals to their community and to the divine. It highlights the profound significance of vows and pledges, which were not merely personal promises, but were seen as binding contracts with both social and spiritual implications. The regulations concerning vows reveal a society where spoken words carried immense weight, reflecting a deep-seated belief in divine justice and the importance of communal harmony. In ancient Israel, a vow was a sacred promise, often made in the presence of witnesses, and breaking it was considered a serious offense. This underscores the community's collective responsibility to uphold truth and integrity. While the specific cultural context may differ, the underlying principles of integrity, commitment, and respect for the sacred retain their timeless relevance. These principles are not confined to the past. They resonate with us today, reminding us of the power of our words and the importance of keeping our promises. In a world where commitments can sometimes be taken lightly, the ancient practices of vow-making in Israel serve as a powerful reminder of the value of trust and accountability. Understanding the role of vows in ancient Israel provides valuable insights into the broader biblical narrative and offers enduring lessons for navigating the complexities of human relationships and our commitments to ourselves, others, and the divine. By studying these ancient texts, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ways in which our ancestors sought to create a just and harmonious society. Their emphasis on the sanctity of vows teaches us about the enduring power of commitment and the profound impact it can have on our lives and our communities.